Mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
It's pretty damn early in the morning to be live right now, but I am currently sitting right here in front of this laptop. It is 70 fucking degrees outside, and we are sitting here on November 5th. That's a fucking problem. But I'll tell you what's not a problem is this blue snowball microphone right here, because I checked the mic and it damn sure sounds right, boy, and that could only mean that. Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth. Streaming live on 4 different platforms, 6 different accounts as we get set for yet another Saudi Arabian show. No matter what you think of it, we are getting set for another Saudi Arabian show at 12 p.m. Eastern Time today. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Oh. Wow. You know what that is? That right there is the smell of pure excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official lightning flash update for Saturday morning, November 5th, 2022. I'm hyped up. I'm ready. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling very oozy. I'm feeling very oozy. I apologize if I sound a little bit under the weather. There's unfortunately another cold going around my house, but we're going to chill. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to go over the top tier news, rumors, and reports, and 4 weekly show reviews before Crown Jewel today. I see we got Dee Dee, Peanuts, and Lisa already in the chat. Shout out to all those individuals. They are great. But we're gonna not waste any more time. We're going to get right into what we're going to get into right after these self-brand promotion and advertisements. Here's what I need y'all to do. You guys haven't already done so, you need to follow me on social media. That's at HistoryMakerDJS, both on Twitter and on Instagram. Please go follow me on those 2 social media platforms. You can add me on Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description. Shout out to Mitchkovsky. I'm pretty sure we'll see him at some point today, but shout out to Mitchkovsky for coming on the rundown for WWE Crown Jewel. That was this past Thursday. So if you guys want to go and check that out, you can certainly go check that out. Me and Mitch, we always have great chemistry. So shout out to him. He's awesome at what he does. I'll tell you what else is awesome. Hardcore Sports is fucking awesome because we got exactly 196 subs. That's right. 196 subs. We're only 4 subs away from 200. Hardcore Sports is growing faster than any of us could have ever anticipated. So people, if you have not subscribed to Hardcore Sports, go subscribe to Hardcore Sports right now. It's right down there. Hardcore Sports Network on YouTube, which we're streaming live on. Hardcore Sports Twitter at Hardcore Sports N, which we're also streaming live on. You can also follow the Instagram page right down there at Hardcore Sports Network. And then, of course, the Twitch, in which we are streaming live on at Hardcore Sports 1. We are about 6 minutes into the stream, people. If you haven't liked the stream, I don't know what the fuck you are doing. You got to like the stream. It's important that you do so because it helps me out. It helps Hardcore Sports out, helps the DJ Storms brand out, brought to you by DJ Storms Productions. So please, like the stream, no matter where you're watching it on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Like it, and share it out on all platforms, social media, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using because it is vital. We got to get as many people in here as possible. It's a very ultra rare, ultra special morning stream, only the second morning stream of the entire fucking year. And you know why? Because I'm just cool like that. Even with a fucking cold, even with a stuffed up fucking nose and a scratchy throat, I'm still here and I am kicking ass because I always stay kicking ass. Now then, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And, of course, hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace because that way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time that you won't get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Earl's not here yet, but we're still going to light it up right here in the morning because it's the best possible way to start your morning. You got to get your vitamins, your minerals, your nutrition from DJ Storms with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like 2 fried eggs in the morning, just like a fresh, hot, out of the oven bagel with a nice spread of butter, just like crispy hash browns right off the pan, and a side of breakfast sausage. I'm just so good. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister, and my pompadour is on fucking point today. Holy shit, I'm taking a look at it right now. Look at that shit. Look at how perfectly slick back that shit is. I'm telling you, my hair is just on another fucking level. Really. Anyway, why don't we get right into the news, rumors, and reports? Let's get into the nitty and the gritty. My first report comes from Fightful Select. Interesting report from Fightful Select states that Tegan Knox is one of the previously fired names that WWE is interested in bringing back. And you know what I got to say to that? Good. Tegan Knox, just like many other individuals that came from Triple H's NXT, was absolutely 1000% fucked over. Tegan Knox is a woman that had the makings of Bayley 2.0. I'm talking about the classic Bayley. I'm talking about when Bayley had the side ponytail and everything. That Bayley. She had the makings of a babyface Bayley. She was lovable. She was kind. She was a very good wrestler. She was great on the microphone. She just exuded a very likable personality. And what did WWE do? WWE, they called her up after she just made her return to NXT She cost Candice LeRae the NXT Tag Team titles, and then next thing you know, legitimately, within 2 weeks, she's on the main roster. She's tag teaming with Shotzi, which didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. She had about 5 main roster appearances. She was supposed to get a women's tag team title match with Shotzi. They never got it. They broke them up, and then she was immediately fired after she was drafted over to Monday Night Raw. Immediately fired. Why? Because Vince McMahon saw it as an opportunity to embarrass Triple H. That was the motto. Until Vince McMahon and all of his demons and all of the past shit that he did came back to bite him in the ass. Now he's out. Now Triple H is in charge. He's running creative. And now we're going to get to see potentially Tegan Nox back in the WWE. Good. Because you know what? They need all the help that they can get with the women's division. And I am ecstatic to hear that Tegan Nox is coming back. Put her on SmackDown, just like Emma's on SmackDown, just like Shotzi's on SmackDown. Make her one of the top baby faces over there. Shayna Baszler should take that SmackDown women's title off of Ronda, and then Tegan Nox should be the woman that's built up to take the title off of Shayna Baszler. That is a beautiful heel versus face dynamic. So Tegan Nox coming back, 2 thumbs up from me. Excellent, excellent news there. Little bit of a shocking report right here. It was actually reported that Shinsuke Nakamura will actually be competing in a match outside of the WWE. On New Year's Day, January 1st of 2023, Shinsuke Nakamura will be competing at Pro Wrestling Noah, the New Year event, against the Great Muta. WWE and Triple H are allowing Shinsuke Nakamura to compete in this match, and this match will mark one of the matches on the Great Muta's retirement tour. Now, some people are asking, what does this mean? Is this a WWE Forbidden Door? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. At the end of the day, Triple H, he is much more open and much more willing to work with others than Vince, but at the end of the day, it's still the WWE, and they have to be the all high and mighty leader of the business and shit like that. They got to be the lone wolf. They got to be the Baron Corbin of the pro wrestling industry. Remember when Baron Corbin was actually cool? They got to be the Baron Corbin of the pro wrestling industry when he was the lone wolf. This is not anywhere near close to a Forbidden Door, especially not when New Japan Pro Wrestling has a long-standing partnership with AEW right now, and we're probably going to get another Forbidden Door pay-per-view with New Japan and AEW somewhere in the summer of 2023. This is just Triple H and WWE understanding that the Great Muta is a once-in-a-lifetime individual. There will never be another Great Muta, and New Japan Pro Wrestling probably reached out to WWE and requested this. Shinsuke Nakamura probably talked things over with Triple H, and Triple H agreed to let Nakamura do this. That's pretty much it. I would not get all happy, and I wouldn't start doing backflips yet. I don't think there's ever going to be a WWE Forbidden Door. I don't. At least not with the current culture that pro wrestling has right now. Especially considering that there's so much tension in the pro wrestling industry as it is, mainly between Tony Khan and WWE, and Tony Khan is working directly with New Japan Pro Wrestling. There is no WWE Forbidden Door. There's never going to be a WWE Forbidden Door. The closest thing that we got to a Forbidden Door was when Mickie James, as the Impact Knockouts champion, competed in the Royal Rumble earlier this year. That's it. This piece of news actually really broke my heart here. Carmella, she recently took to Twitter and on Instagram on Halloween, and she revealed that she had been in the ER since Saturday. She revealed that she suffered an ectopic pregnancy, and unfortunately, it led to a miscarriage. She had been battling with herself on how she was going to post this and how she was going to reveal it to the public. She ended up revealing it to the public in the manner that she did. I am not going to read to you the entire post that she gave, because quite frankly, it is really not my business to reveal any of that public information like that. If you want to go and read it, you can read it on her Instagram page and her Twitter page. And on top of that, I can't really read it without getting choked up. I'm not an emotional guy. I've always been very, very stone-faced. I've always been a guy that has really kept his feelings to himself because I don't really like showing emotion. I don't really like showing vulnerability at all. But reading this, it really hit me hard. Now, Carmella, I am not a big Carmella advocate. But a woman like Carmella, who has done everything that she has been told to do with the WWE, and a woman like Carmella that has never really complained and did everything that she's supposed to do, did everything by the book, worked her ass off to get better. She had one of the worst SmackDown Women's title reigns of all time. She worked her ass off to get better, and now she was actually in a decent position before she got injured, and now this happened. I really can't help but feel bad for Carmella. I really can't help but feel bad for Carmella because absolutely no one wants to lose a pregnancy like that. Bringing life into this world, it's probably one of the most precious things that an individual could do. Probably one of the most precious things that a woman can do. And Carmella, she unfortunately was deprived of that. It's a very, very heartbreaking situation, and I can't help but feel bad for Carmella and Corey Graves at that too. I can't imagine what they're going through, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not even going to assume what they're going through. The only thing that I can do is I can offer my thoughts, I can offer my prayers, I can offer my deepest condolences to Carmella and everyone that was directly affected by this absolute fucking tragedy. It's just a reminder of how cruel life is. Take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted, because when you're in a scenario like that, you realize that the little things like that, something that could go so right can also go so wrong. It's like Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Take nothing for granted and be happy that you have been as fortunate as you have been up until this point in your life. My thoughts and prayers go out to Carmella and everyone that was affected by this tragedy. Moving on here, let's talk about Crown Jewel for a little bit. Crown Jewel tonight over in Saudi Arabia, but this afternoon here in the States, Crown Jewel will feature a match between Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley at least is managing the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day specifically with Rhea Ripley as a manager. Judgment Day, this is Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest versus the OC. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and AJ Styles. According to WrestleTalk, the female aide for the OC against Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day may have already been revealed. During WWE's live tour in Mexico, Raquel Rodriguez has been teaming with Rey Mysterio and the OC against the Judgment Day. Now, this would make sense as far as a storyline perspective is concerned, considering that Rhea Ripley and Raquel are very good friends in real life. Now, I don't necessarily mind this. I don't necessarily mind this at all. I think that this is actually a very good move in order to really generate some intrigue within Raquel Rodriguez, because her run here on the main roster, it hasn't been terrible per se, but it has not been memorable at all. She has not been hitting like she hit in NXT. Her matches haven't been all that good, minus that women's tag team title match all the way back on SmackDown a couple weeks ago against Damage Control when she was tag teaming with Shotzi. Raquel Rodriguez has not hit like she hit in NXT. So this would actually be a great thing for Raquel Rodriguez to get her back on the right track and to get her in a scenario in which she's taken seriously. She's taken seriously in the eyes of the general public. And that I can appreciate. That I can appreciate very, very much. However, there's a part of me that can't help but think, is it a little too predictable? Is it a little too Is it a little too lame? Because if anything, with wrestling fans, we set our standards very, very high as far as who's going to be a mystery partner or opponent for said individual. Some people were even complaining that Colt Cabana showed up this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Now, I'm not complaining. I didn't mind it. And mainly because of the fact that you can't bring in someone of great name value to ultimately take a loss. You're going to put an individual in there that is going to be expendable. And Colt Cabana in that scenario was expendable. However, this is a completely different scenario. There's actually a part of me that kind of wishes it was Tegan Nox. Or if not Tegan Nox, there's been reports of WWE being interested in Mia Yim coming back. I would love to see Mia Yim come back as the aide for the OC. I'd love to see Mia Yim mix it up with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. That's a very nice introduction back to the WWE if Mia Yim is going to come back. Plus, Mia Yim, she was also done dirty with Retribution and that bullshit. So there's a small part of me that hopes it's Mia Yim, but at the same point in time, I'm not going to be mad that it's Raquel because you could tell a lot of great story with Raquel and Rhea, especially the 2 matches that they had back down in NXT, especially that last woman standing match at New Year's Evil almost 2 years ago. That was a great fucking match. That was a great match. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I got a great report from PW Insider right here. Mike Johnson of PW Insider, he was reporting a lot of big news this week, including T-Bar. Yes, remember T-Bar. T-Bar is now listed as Donovan Dijak on the WWE internal roster sheets. Now that is a great thing to see. That is a brilliant thing to see because now he can finally get back on the right track. Before he was brought up to the main roster and absolutely castrated, put in a fucking Hannibal Lecter mask, he looked horrible. He looked absolutely horrible. So now that he's going to be in this scenario, and now he could potentially be in a top priority spot in NXT, and hopefully inject a little bit of life into that brand, this is going to be a very interesting scenario for him and the entire WWE as a whole, because now Dijak has the opportunity to build himself back up. Maybe he gets called up to the main roster, he gets put on SmackDown or Raw, maybe he's fighting for the Intercontinental or the United States Championship. Maybe he gets put in Judgment Day at some point. Either way, this is a great thing. This is a great thing. He should have never been called up to the main roster when he was called up. He should have never been put in a fucking dead faction, dead on arrival faction, and he should have never had his name changed. So this is a great thing. Very, very happy to hear this. PW Insider. PW Insider kept up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and reports because they also reported that Chelsea Green is officially done with Impact as she finished up her run on October 27th. And it could be all but confirmed that she is heading back to the WWE, since she is another name that can be expected back in WWE, according to PW Insider, very soon. And this is also a great thing because, like I said, they need some help in the women's division. The women's division was one of the worst aspects about WWE TV. The women's division was absolutely horrible under Vince and Bruce. The women's division was absolutely horrid to even think about. Never mind sit in front of your TV and watch. The women's division, my God, if you want to talk about piss poor, if you want to talk about missing the opportunity, if you want to talk about buried, the women's division was absolutely buried under WWE, to a point where Tony Khan was actually doing it better. And you know what? Tony Khan's actually been doing a pretty decent job ever since Saraya came in. After All Out, the women's division has been putting out some really great fucking matches over there. Not Marina Shafir and Jade Cargill. Not that fucking disaster. But other than that, the matches that we've been getting in the women's division has actually been very, very nice. Willow Nightingale's been getting a nice shine. Sky Blue has been looking good against some top stars as of lately. So good for her. Good for her. We got a great women's title match booked for Full Gear. Toni Storm's been putting on some bangers as the fucking women's champion. So in the end, I don't see a single fucking issue with how the women's division is going right now, as long as they stay on the right track. Not Jade Cargill and Marina Shafir, but everything else, so far so good. And I do believe that Saraya will be competing at Full Gear against Britt Baker. Full Gear is looking great. Full Gear is looking fucking awesome. Full Gear is looking great. But WWE, a completely different scenario. The Raw women's division, for the most part, is fine. SmackDown women's division, not so much. We need some fresh names. We need some new talent. We already have Shayna Baszler being paired with Ronda Rousey, which is a fantastic thing to see. And Shayna is absolutely going to be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. She should be. Then we got Tegan Nox potentially coming back. We got potentially Chelsea Green coming back. Emma just rejoined the WWE. It's a great thing to see. It's going to be a very interesting scenario to see how Triple H rejuvenates the women's division. Stick PW Insider. Our final report from PW Insider. Mike Johnson of PW Insider, he reported that NXT had a recent class of releases this past Tuesday. The names included Bodie Hayward, Sloane Jacobs, Erica Yan, Demarius Griffin, and Rue Feng. So NXT released those 5 individuals this past Tuesday. Now, normally I would shit on this simply because of the fact that, WWE's putting people out of jobs, but if we're going to be honest here, if we're going to be upfront, how many of those people do you actually give a shit about? I can't name you one individual that I actually give a shit about. If anything, what this is Triple H cleaning out. I don't want to use the trash, but at the end of the day, what value do these people have? All of these people, I can almost guarantee you that every single one of these individuals were straight out of the NIL program. The NIL program is a disaster. There is absolutely no one that's going to come from the NIL program, minus maybe 1 or 2 within the next 15 to 20 years, that is going to be a main event star. Professional wrestling thrives on the independent scene. The independent scene is where professional wrestling produces the next major players. I know because I've worked an independent event before, and I have been backstage in that locker room, and I've seen how talented these individuals are firsthand. Specifically with Rescue Mania, shout out to Crowbar, and ISPW, shout out to Tommy Fierro. The independents are the lifeblood of professional wrestling in 2022. The NIL program is not going to do shit. The only thing I can hope for, listen, I hope that all these individuals find work ASAP. I hope they do. But at the end of the day, I hope to God that the NIL program is nixed. It's not going anywhere, and it's not going to produce any substance whatsoever. It's not. I'm sorry. We have 2 big reports to close out the news, rumors, and reports section, and then we're going to get into the weekly show reviews. We're going to go pretty quickly today because, obviously, we got Crown Jewel coming up in less than 2 hours. I got a report on CM Punk. Nick Hausman, he reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that CM Punk may be retiring from wrestling again. Now, some people have said that he still has the wrestling bug, but if you're asking me, I do not buy it whatsoever. So Nick Hausman reported that CM Punk is retiring from wrestling again, and he noted that he is not short of money and currently has roads for potential work in Hollywood. Again, I mention it all the time. It is quite sad to think about what happened with CM Punk. And it's not that he's too old and his body can't do it anymore. It's just the fact that he has pretty much burned all the bridges that he had in one going. He has burned so many bridges throughout his life that professional wrestling, he's pretty much, he's not cut out for it. If anything, he's not cut out to be a public figure. What is he going to do when he gets to Hollywood? What's he going to do when he starts to get bigger roles in Hollywood? Is he going to do the same thing that he fucking did here with Tony Khan? I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I don't know how anyone in the pro wrestling industry could ever trust CM Punk again. CM Punk, at the end of the day, is exactly what I said he is. He was one of the greatest of all time. He inspired me to go straight edge. I have nothing but praise for CM Punk as a professional wrestler, but as an individual, Punk is a liberal bitch. He is a democratic, thin-skinned pussy who thinks with his emotions and not with logic. He is not cut out to be a public figure. The majority of celebrities in 2022 aren't cut out to be public figures. I mean, look at what happened over the weekend with Jade Cargill and Britt Baker and Rebel. Fucking cunts, I swear. Absolute fucking cunts. But CM Punk, this is not about the mega cunts of the year. This is about CM Punk. Punk may never wrestle again. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you know what? The pro wrestling industry doesn't need CM Punk. CM Punk shot himself in the foot. CM Punk was the downfall of CM Punk. Just like Vince said, Bret screwed Bret, Punk screwed Punk. Let that be the end of it. Punk not coming back? Okay. Look at what Tony Khan is doing. Tony Khan has showed you that he doesn't need Punk. He doesn't need the Elite. He's putting out great shows every single, not this past Wednesday, but he was putting on great shows every single week up until this past Wednesday. He's building new stars, pushing homegrown talent like Wardlow, The Acclaimed, Orange Cassidy. So at the end of the day, who the fuck needs Punk? Who the fuck needs Punk? I cannot see him going to WWE. Why would he go to WWE? Why would Triple H jeopardize the harmonious locker room that he's created, especially considering that Vince McMahon absolutely destroyed that locker room and locker room morale was down under Vince McMahon? Why would Triple H jeopardize the locker room just to make a couple of quick bucks off of Phil? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. Punk is done. And you know what? Good. Our final report before we get into the weekly show reviews. WrestleVotes told Give Me Sport that WWE is reportedly discussing the idea of moving the Money in the Bank ladder match concept back to WrestleMania. The idea is for the men's and women's ladder matches to take place on different nights of WrestleMania weekend. Now, I will say it once, I'll say it again. WrestleMania does not need to be 2 nights. We do not need 16 matches across a 2-night span. All we need to do is reduce the amount of fucking matches. 8 to 10 matches maximum, 1 night, 4 hours. That's all we need. That's all we fucking need. We do not need 2 nights. However, as it relates to Money in the Bank, I didn't mind Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view. I didn't mind Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view, specifically because of the fact that, for me, you can make anything a pay-per-view. You can call a pay-per-view hot pile of shit for all I care. Just make sure that it's a good fucking pay-per-view. That's all I care about. But under Vince McMahon, he put no effort into Money in the Bank. He put absolutely no effort into Money in the Bank, and the concept itself was killed. But under Triple H, this is a different story, because now I can see Triple H, now that he's removing the concept potentially and moving it back on WrestleMania, it's A, going to make WrestleMania feel more important, B, going to make the Money in the Bank ladder match feel more important, and C, it's going to give superstars an opportunity in a high-priority matchup instead of throwing a random match on a show that doesn't need to be there. I can name you so many matches that shouldn't have been on WrestleMania 38 this year. We didn't need Drew McIntyre and Corbin. Decent match, but we didn't need that match. We didn't need Omos and Bobby Lashley. We didn't need Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus the Usos. We didn't need that shit. We didn't need Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. We didn't need that shit. You could have easily put Sammy and Bobby and Drew and Corbin and Madcap Moss and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, you could have put them all in a Money in the Bank ladder match. That's what should have been done. But now, we're potentially getting Money in the Bank back on WrestleMania. This is a great thing because of everything I just stated. This is going to go hand in hand with what I stated last week about Hell in a Cell going away and Triple H getting rid of that concept. It is going to put a sense of emphasis, and it is going to give the concepts importance once again. And Triple H, just like how he is, he puts effort into shit. Not Damage Control. We'll rant about Damage Control in a little bit, but other than that, Triple H puts a solid amount of effort into the things that he does. So this is a great move. And it's really going to give the concept and WrestleMania a more important feel. Those are the news, rumors, and reports. I hope you guys are having a great time. We are just getting set to get into the weekly show reviews. We got 4 weekly shows to go over. Shout out to Jeffrey Turner, the Final Hoss, Lisa, and everyone else that is in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. And it is a fine Saturday morning as we itch closer and closer to Crown Jewel. You guys are fantastic as per usual. But we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into the weekly show reviews, and then we'll get out of here for Crown Jewel. So, this wrestling week was not as hot as I expected it to be. Outside of SmackDown and Rampage, which were 2 very good shows, Raw and Dynamite just did not hit like they really should. Raw was better than last week, but it still did not have that extra oomph that it needed. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if it really is the Saudi Arabian shows and how fucking terrible the shows really are. I don't know. But either way, we did have some decent stuff on Raw. Don't get me wrong. We started off with Bianca Belair versus Nikki Cross. Nikki, she has new theme music, and she's acting like a crazy banshee. It is a beautiful thing to see. NXT Nikki Cross is back, and I could not be happier about this decision. Nikki was absolutely destroyed. Nikki was called up at the beginning of 2019, and immediately she was made into a normal fucking human being, teaming with Alexa Bliss, one of the worst professional wrestlers in the industry right now. Now she's that crazy bitch that we all know and love from NXT. It's a beautiful thing to see. So, Raw actually started off pretty decent. So, Nikki went right on the attack. She targeted Bianca Belair's knee. Coming back from commercial, Bianca with a vertical suplex and then a back body drop to Nikki on the floor. So, Damage Control came out to distract the ref. Bayley came out and she shoved Bianca into the post. Nikki then decided, you know what, fuck this, and she took out Damage Control. Nikki then went back into the ring, and she was inevitably caught by Bianca with a KOD for the win, and that was it. Nothing over the top, nothing crazy, just a decent little match, and a nice reintroduction for Nikki Cross, and I am loving the fact that Nikki Cross is now a crazy bitch. She should have never not been a crazy bitch. Plain and simple. Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley. That's how Brock Lesnar says it. Bobby Lashley. Bobby and Brock, they had a sit-down interview. Brock didn't even show up to the interview. So Bobby, wearing sunglasses and a nice suit, he just said that he's going to expose Brock for when he exposed Brock when he put him through a table last week, and he will expose him at Crown Jewel as a Bobby Lashley wannabe. Lesnar's music then hit, and he came out to the ring. Lesnar then said, "Good evening, Texas." Now, Brock Lesnar didn't come down to have a sit-down interview with Bobby Lashley. Don't know why he says it like that, but it's entertaining. Lesnar said he wants to fight. Bobby, get your ass out here for an ass beating. Lashley then came out, and we got ourselves a really nice pull-apart brawl with officials and talent coming out to break them up. We even got Triple H coming out. Triple H then screamed, tell them that if they touch each other between now and Crown Jewel, the fight is off. Now that was a very nice touch. That is something that I loved about this whole entire segment. This build has easily been better than the build that we got towards their Royal Rumble match. Now, the only criticism I have, and this is a minor one, but still I would have liked to have known, why did Brock Lesnar cost Bobby Lashley the United States Championship? That's all I wanted to know. We still haven't gotten that explanation. Now, what's going to happen? Is this going to continue into Survivor Series? It could potentially. Maybe we get Bobby losing at Crown Jewel today because Bobby did beat Brock at the Rumble. What happens if Brock wins and then we get the rubber match at Survivor Series? Could that be the case? I don't know. It's definitely something to keep your eye on. I'm telling you, all this warm fucking weather getting me sick again. Unbelievable. Seth Rollins. He took on Austin Theory. And this was probably the best thing on the entire fucking show. This match was awesome. So Rollins, he took over control early. He draped Austin Theory over the barricade and delivered a diving knee to the back of his neck. Theory then came back, sending Rollins into the table. Coming back from commercial, Theory then with a fall-away slam for a 2. Rollins mounted a comeback. Rollins, as over as all hell, he then sent Theory to the floor. Big tope suicida, a second one. And then Rollins caught Theory with a Falcon Arrow in the ring for a 2. We had a springboard knee, a super kick to Theory for a 2, back and forth roll-ups and pins. We had a cross-legged brainbuster on the knee by Theory for a 2, enziguri by Rollins, rolling blockbuster by Theory for a 2, great combination, rolling elbow, super kick, big forearm, both men are down. Theory then went for a pedigree on Rollins. Rollins ended up reversing it, and he delivered a stomp for the win. This was excellent. This was awesome. Exactly what we need from these guys and many others on Monday Night Raw. And Rollins is doing great shit. I'm surprised he's actually not on the card tonight. Roman Reigns, he came out to address the crowd. He goes, Dallas, Texas, acknowledge me. So the crowd was chanting Usi, Sammy and Jay. He told everyone, Sammy and Jay are becoming more Usi. He says that he's the greatest of all time, and he's going up against the guy who has 2 matches. I'm not hyping up the match with Logan Paul, but the wise man will. So Paul Heyman doing his usual shtick before The Miz came out. The Miz says he acknowledges the tribal chief, and he talked about the right hand of Logan Paul. It is real. Don't believe me, just ask Jay. I think that we can help each other. You help me with he who shall not be named, and I'll help you with Logan Paul. Roman then wanted to ask The Miz a question. He goes, why does everyone keep talking about Logan Paul knocking me out? Then he Superman punched The Miz and said, when they should be talking about me knocking Logan Paul out. He said, you'll all have no choice but to acknowledge me. And that's that. Once again, this match is completely unnecessary. Nobody buys it. It'll be a great match, but it is completely unbelievable. Nobody believes that Logan Paul is winning the world title. I'm sorry. We got Carl Anderson. He took on Damian Priest. This was a decent little match right here. Carl Anderson is very good at what he does. So Priest and Anderson went right after each other. Priest took over with a super kick to Anderson. Coming back from commercial, Damian Priest was in control with a broken arrow for a 2. Anderson then mounted a comeback with a big running senton and a beautiful spine buster for a 2. It is Anderson and Powerhouse Hobbs that have the best spine busters in the business right now. Excellent. Priest then with a leaping flatliner to Anderson for a 2. Anderson got a backslide on Priest for the win. So Damian Priest loses. Carl gets the win. Afterwards, we get a big brawl between the OC and the Judgment Day that ended with Rhea Ripley low-blowing Gallows. She then dared Carl and Styles to hit her, but this resulted in the Judgment Day swarming the OC. Priest giving Styles a razor's edge, and then Finn Balor giving Anderson a coup de grace. Dominic then did his best Eddie Guerrero impersonation with a frog splash on Styles. I expect a banger. I expect an absolute banger. JBL came out to address the crowd in Texas. He hyped up all the legends of Texas and then said that the snowflakes ruined it. I actually agree with JBL. The snowflakes ruined the United States. Fuck liberals. Fuck liberals. Fuck Democrats. Fuck Batista. Fuck Punk. Fuck Bette Midler. Fuck Jimmy Kimmel. Fuck AOC. Fuck them. Fuck them. We need to ship them off all to California, never to return. Fuck them. So, JBL called everyone entitled, safe space, generational snowflakes. I will introduce greatness to this state anyway. Put your woke, chubby hands together for Baron Corbin. Corbin then came out. He said, you are in the presence of a modern-day wrestling god. You all have very little, and I have it all. Thank you for coming to see me in the flesh tonight. It shows how much you truly, truly love me. So all of a sudden, R-Truth come out. He comes out rapping as usual. Then, Truth then said, hey, you said my name. So JBL was pissed. He said he was dressed like a cowboy. R-Truth was dressed like a cowboy. JBL was pissed. He called R-Truth a buffoon. Truth then said he likes both of their Halloween costumes. JBL said, we're not wearing any Halloween costumes. Truth said, hey, JBL's an out-of-touch old man. So Truth then attacked. He got attacked by Corbin. Corbin gave him the end of days, and that was it. That was it. I don't want to shit on Baron Corbin and JBL. I don't. But if you're going to tell me that this is the best possible route to go with Baron Corbin, then you're out of your fucking mind. Corbin, the last 2 weeks on Raw, put on 2 great matches with Johnny Gargano and Dolph Ziggler. You're telling me that you couldn't have taken Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, Dominic Dijakovic? Where were they? You couldn't have taken any of those individuals and put them against Baron Corbin and have Corbin put on a great match with them? R-Truth and campy comedy with Baron Corbin. This is not going to help Corbin and JBL get over. It's not. It's not. We need Corbin putting on great matches if you want people to give a shit about Baron Corbin and JBL in this partnership. This is not going to help Corbin in the long run. I'll tell you what else didn't help this show. Matt Riddle and Otis. Trick or street fight. So Matt Riddle came out dressed as Ezekiel. Chad Gable called Dallas a bunch of nitwits. Chad Gable, shoosh. Shoosh, please. Chad Gable came out. He called Dallas a bunch of dimwits. Thank you. He then said he was dressed up as Chip the legendary Patrick Swayze, and Otis was dressed up as Dale. A little shout out to Chris Farley from SNL. So right then and there, I had two thoughts. Number one, the Alpha Academy is fucking fantastic. And number two, this was going to be a disaster, and that's exactly what it was. So Otis did the caterpillar. He then was sent face first into a steel chair. Riddle then with a kendo stick shot. All of a sudden, Gable was on the apron. Elias with a leaping knee, sending Gable through the table. Unintentional rhyme right there. Eminem, eat your heart out. Riddle then dodged the Vader bomb. Elias put a jack-o'-lantern on Otis's head. And we got a terrible-looking RKO with Riddle getting the victory. Typical Halloween bullshit. Even under Triple H, that shit still won't change. Alpha Academy is great, but Riddle deserves better than this. Is it me, or are they legitimately just coasting? Are they legitimately just coasting with Riddle until Randy Orton comes back? I'm sorry. I cannot get behind that. I'll tell you what I can get behind, though. Mustafa Ali on TV. Very happy to see Mustafa Ali on TV. Ali took on The Miz, and I'm not going to lie to you, this was actually a lot better than I expected. Miz sucks, but he actually put on a decent match with Ali here. Now, it helped that it was Mustafa Ali, and Mustafa Ali is great at what he does. So Miz gained the early advantage. Ali with an inverted atomic drop and a rolling neck breaker for a 2. Miz with a boot, turning Ali inside out. Ali did a very good job selling for The Miz. Ali then was sent headfirst into the middle turnbuckle. Coming back from commercial, The Miz with kicks to the chest. Ali with a backstabber. Miz with a snap DDT for a 2. Ali with a very nice satellite DDT. Miz rolled out of the ring. Ali with a diving crossbody to the floor. Ali was then shoved over the announce table by The Miz. All of a sudden, Dexter Lumis came out of nowhere. Lumis came out of nowhere, tried to choke out The Miz. Miz got out of dodge. Lumis, he jumped over the barricade. One of the security guards hurled the barricade like it was nothing. Back in the ring, Ali hit a super kick, and he won with a beautiful 450. So Ali, he is now winning matches. Good. That's what Ali should be doing. Winning matches. Keep that shit up. Keep that shit up. Ali wins matches, he will be worthy of a U.S. title opportunity. Ali gets the win, and rightfully so. God. I cannot wait until I kick this cold. Johnny Gargano. He sat down with Byron Saxton to tell the truth about Dexter Lumis. So Johnny talked about knowing Lumis for years, marrying into his NXT family, but after the wedding, their family fell apart because Dexter lost his job. Before his return, Gargano heard Miz and Dexter having a conversation. The Miz paid off Dexter Lumis. So initially, Gargano said, without actually saying it, that this was a work. Gargano said Miz conjured up in his own mind that he's a fake-ass celebrity. So Gargano pretty much said, without saying it, that nobody gives a fuck about The Miz. So The Miz did what he did to get people talking about him. Dexter was paid to stalk The Miz and to even cost him the United States Championship. Because then he said, let's be real. No one thought that The Miz was going to beat Bobby Lashley, right? That was great. So Gargano pretty much burying The Miz without actually burying The Miz. He then said Miz paid Lumis to attack him week after week, and he exploited Dexter Lumis' situation. He organized ways to make himself look like he was stalked. But then Miz lost control, and Miz just stopped paying Dexter Lumis. 1 week turned into 2 weeks, turned into 3 weeks, and then Lumis started coming after him for real. And he's not going to stop until he gets what he is owed. Now, I don't think this was the original plan. I still think the plan was to have Tommaso Ciampa involved in this, and Ciampa was inevitably going to be part of this whole entire scheme. Now, when is Ciampa going to be back? I don't know. But I don't mind this. I think this is actually a pretty solid move. Now, how would we go about this? Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Miz and Lumis at Survivor Series. If Lumis wins, he gets a contract. If Miz wins, Lumis is gone. Lumis wins, and then afterwards, Gargano can beat The Miz on Raw the next Monday. Then, let's get Lumis into a United States title program with Seth Rollins after Survivor Series and after Rollins gets done with Ali. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Lumis and Rollins in a program, and you could do some really interesting shit with Lumis stalking Becky and stalking their daughter. That's some really good shit. Then we can have Lumis and Rollins build towards their match at the Royal Rumble. Then, after that, that can act as a bridge. Lumis and Rollins for the U.S. title at the Rumble. That acts as a bridge to get to WrestleMania, in which we will see Rollins versus Gargano for the United States Championship, with Gargano getting the win. I'm looking to build up WrestleMania as the best fucking event possible. That right there is a great event for Gargano and Rollins. That's a world title match, let alone a U.S. title match. That's the match I'm looking at for WrestleMania. Long-term booking here, long-term storytelling. Lumis beats Miz. This is over. Lumis goes after Rollins, and Gargano kind of acts as his mouthpiece. I wouldn't say keep them as a tag team, but they're an association, a duo for the time being. Lumis can't beat Rollins. Gargano beats Rollins at WrestleMania, and then we can build towards Lumis and Gargano at a later date. That's what I'm looking at. I think that would be an awesome, awesome story to tell. I'll tell you what was not awesome, the main event. The match was fine. The match was not terrible, but the outcome completely fucking confusing. I'm not even going to go over what happened in the match. All that happened, typical Damage Control and Asuka and Alexa Bliss stuff. Bayley and Bianca actually brawled into the crowd, and Bayley to bellied Bianca off of a platform through 2 tables, obviously hyping up their match. But all of a sudden, Kai was taken out. We had a PK by Asuka, and then Alexa Bliss hit Twisted Bliss on Sky, and Alexa and Asuka won the titles. Why? I don't fucking know. Just because they wanted to get a title change here at Saudi Arabia? Stupid. The match was fine, but the women's tag team titles are an absolute lost cause. Now let's talk about Damage Control. If you missed my tweet on Monday, you'll know exactly what I'm going to say. It doesn't matter how you spin it. Doesn't matter what type of excuses that you want to make. It doesn't even matter if Bayley and Damage Control win their titles back tonight. Damage Control is dead. Damage Control is absolutely dead. We were looking at potentially a faction that could have been the female version of the Undisputed Era, and they turned into the female version of the League of Nations. Remember the League of Nations all the way back in the day? They were getting taken out every single week by Roman Reigns, single-handedly. Damage Control has done nothing but take loss after loss after loss. They lost the women's tag team title tournament initially. You had Dakota losing to Raquel in a non-title match when she was the women's tag team champion. You had Sky losing to Bianca. You had Bayley losing to Bianca, and here they lose the women's tag team titles here on Raw. Damage Control, it doesn't even matter what happens. I don't even think War Games could help. Nothing but loss after loss after loss after loss. And it's a damn shame. Triple H, absolute fail with Damage Control. I don't even know how anyone could take Damage Control seriously after this. The faction is completely fucking dead. You know how many losses Damage Control should have? 0. None. Or if you had to give Damage Control one loss, the only loss that they should even have on their record right now is when Bayley lost to Bianca at Extreme Rules. Other than that, there should be no losses on Damage Control's record. If anything, I wouldn't even have had Bayley lose at Extreme Rules. Damage Control should be undefeated right now. Damage Control should not have a single loss on their resume. Why are we looking at Damage Control having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 big losses in a row? Absolutely stupid. That was just the nail in the coffin for what was not a very exciting Monday Night Raw. And that's disappointing. That was Monday Night Raw. Hope you guys are having a good time. We're going to go over 3 more weekly shows before we get on out of here. Thank you very much for joining me very early this morning. We are having a good time as per usual. Let's talk about Dynamite. I was very disappointed with Dynamite. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but it did not hit as it usually has been hitting. Not to say it was a jack shit horrible show, because Dynamite we've never had, I know what a horrible show is. I mean, I've watched Monday Night Raw for years under Vince McMahon. I know what a horrible show is, but this did not come up to par with the Dynamites that we've been seeing the last couple weeks, and that's very disappointing. Now, there's a part of me that kind of expected it, considering that they were on a hot streak, but I was not expecting it to come here. We did get some decent stuff overall, but it was not, and I mean it was not, up to par with what we've been seeing from Dynamite ever since All Out. Darby Allin and Jay Lethal, they kicked off the show. The brawl started out right out of the gate. Darby then sent Lethal into the barricade. Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh came out to watch. Lethal took over. Figure 4 leg lock on the floor. Lethal then stomped on Darby's knee and hit a release German suplex on the apron. Coming back from commercial, Darby with a coffin splash. Lethal then with an inside-out modified gourd buster for a 2. Darby with a rear naked choke, but Lethal got out. Over the top stunner. Darby went up. Lethal got out. Darby then went for a suicide dive on Satnam Singh. This was a fucking insane spot. Darby went for a suicide dive on Satnam Singh, and he legitimately bounced right off of Satnam Singh, as if Satnam Singh was a fucking trampoline, a walking fucking trampoline. It was unbelievable. So the ref then ejected Singh and Dutt. All of a sudden, a guy in a Sting costume came out, hit Darby behind the referee's back with a bat. Lethal then with the lethal injection. Lethal wins. Very good match. The masked figure unmasked to be Cole Carter. I don't know why. That was a complete what the fuck moment. Sting's music then hit. All of a sudden, coming up from behind Darby Allin, it was Jeff Jarrett coming out of nowhere. Yes, J-E-double-F, J-A-double-R-E-double-T. He came out of nowhere, hit Darby with a guitar, and he said, "You got a lesson from the last outlaw. Whatever you worship becomes your weakness, and Sting has become your weakness." This message goes out to the delusional fan base. Wherever the Jarretts go, we left an impact. The crowd was chanting, "You still suck." Before I get done with this place, there's going to be full of body bags. Choke on that, slap nuts. I don't mind this. I actually don't mind this. Now, he's reportedly the director of business development. And if that's the case, good, because Jeff Jarrett is really going to help. So good on Tony Khan for developing a solid team. However, the one thing that this cannot turn into an every week thing. This needs to be a Sting role. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, they need to be the heel version of Darby Allin and Sting. And Jeff Jarrett only needs to be brought out once every quarter. And you know what? If that's the case, I think that is just fine. I think that's just fine. Matter of fact, I can see a match between Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal taking on Sting and Darby at Full Gear, which I don't mind at all. I think that is a perfectly fine match. That's a perfectly fine match. We had another cryptic package. A cryptic package for the Elite. Again, where they're seemingly being erased from history. Not really sure where this is going, but I can definitely see the Elite versus Death Triangle for the Trios Championships at some point. Lee Moriarty. He took on Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title Eliminator match. This was a decent little match. Really nothing too crazy. Moxley was in control. He hit an X-Plex. Moriarty came back with a springboard clothesline and a Northern Lights suplex for a 2. Moxley came back with a King Kong lariat and some arm-trapped stomps. Moriarty then got caught with a cutter for a 2. Moriarty then got hit with some stiff slaps. Moriarty answered back with slaps of his own. We had a back suplex, trading back suplex for back suplex, one after the other. Moriarty then with the Border City stretch. Moxley got out, locked in the Juji Gatami armbar, and Moxley forced Lee Moriarty to tap out. Afterwards, Ethan Page then stormed the ring, attacked Moxley, and Moxley was laid out. I do not see Ethan Page winning this tournament at all, but if we're going to be looking down the barrel of Moriarty and potentially him fighting for the Pure Championship, I have no problem with that. Moriarty has definitely held his own against the top stars in AEW, but if we're looking at Page and Moxley in a match after Full Gear, I don't mind that because I fully expect MJF to win the world title, and I fully expect after what happened last night on Rampage, I expect Ricky Starks to win the tournament. And I expect Ricky Starks and MJF at Winter is Coming, which is going to be great. Renee Paquette. She sat down with Saraya. Britt Baker was not present, actually. And by the way, that was not the original cut. Britt Baker was taken off of this original cut because she acted like an absolute fucking cunt on Sunday, trying to trash JD from New York and all that other bullshit. I'm telling you, the AEW women's locker room is so fucking pathetic. They got some great talented women, but holy shit, their mentalities are all fucked up. Fuck Britt Baker. Fuck Rebel. Fuck Jade Cargill. Fuck them all. They're worthless. Really, they are. But Saraya had a great sit-down interview. Britt didn't care to show up because Saraya said that she doesn't care about anyone but herself. That's a shoot, by the way. That's not a work. That's a shoot. Fuck Britt Baker. Saraya then talked about what she's gone through for the business. She talked about AEW being the rebel company, and she wanted to be a part of it. Saraya then said she's going to save her medical status for next week because there is one more doctor that she wants to consult. And I do believe that that is going to be a very nice face-to-face confrontation between Baker and Saraya, which will result in a match at Full Gear. Nice little storyline going on over there. We got some nice undercard storylines being built on the AEW Women's Division TV. So good for them. We got the Daddy Ass birthday celebration. Scissor Me, Daddy Ass. So Billy Gunn's hands were taped up because of Swerve crushing them with pliers. Bowens talked about what Swerve did to Billy Gunn. They got him scissoring foam fingers, which, by the way, I'm probably going to have to buy. So we got scissoring foam fingers. Caster said that AEW stands for the Acclaimed every Wednesday. Caster then took a cardboard scissoring cutout from the crowd. They gave it to Daddy Ass as a present. The crowd was chanting for Daddy Ass. They got him a trophy. Bowens then took a shot at the DX reunion, which was great. Bowens then got a certificate of adoption, and all they need is a signature from Daddy Ass. All of a sudden, the Ass Boys came out. This was Colton and Billy Gunn. They weren't happy that they didn't get invited. William Morrissey then attacked Billy Gunn. They were interrupted by FTR, huge pop. The Firm then walked off. FTR then took the AEW World Tag Team titles and gave them to the Acclaimed. This segment was awesome. Probably the best thing on Dynamite was this segment. Nice little tease for FTR and the Acclaimed, which I know is going to be an absolute banger. That's going to be great. Britt Baker had an interview with Tony Schiavone. She said she didn't have to do anything on Saraya's time, and we got ourselves a tag team match for Rampage. It's going to be Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue and Madison Rayne. Chris Jericho then came out with Garcia and Hager. He was ranting about what happened last week. He said he'll even whoop Lamar Jackson's ass. And we got ourselves Colt Boom Boom Cabana versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Nice little shot at CM Punk right there. It was certainly a little bit of a petty move, but it's Tony Khan's company. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But people really expected a little too much from this. It was not going to be a major name because at the end of the fucking day, Jericho's not losing the Ring of Honor World title, so you need someone who's expendable. You need someone who's able to take a loss. That's exactly what happened here. Nothing more, nothing less. So this was decent. Crowd was getting a nice welcome back chant, so good for Colt. Colt and Jericho both spilled to the outside. That was a botch right there. That did not look good at all. So Colt, he mounted a comeback with a flying elbow. Big chop across the chest. Big splash off the middle rope for a 2. Jericho had Cabana up top. He took him off the top. Victory roll for a 2. Cabana then with a flip-flop and fly. Jericho then poked Cabana in the eye. Judas Effect missed. Billy Goat's curse was locked in. And then he hit the Superman dive, but Jake Hager pulled out Cabana behind the referee's back. Cabana with a springboard moonsault onto Hager and Garcia. And then we had the flying apple. But then Jericho came back with a code breaker. 1, 2, 3, Jericho retained. Jericho then went after Ian Riccaboni before the Blackpool Combat Club came out to attack the JAS, which resulted in a challenge being laid out on Rampage, which we will talk about. Orange Cassidy and Luchasaurus versus Rey Fenix. Triple threat match for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. This was very fun. Very fun. Orange Cassidy is doing really good stuff with that All-Atlantic Championship. Keep it up. So Luchasaurus took it to Phoenix and Cassidy early on. Cassidy then hit the light kicks to Phoenix. Back and forth counters between both men. Satellite DDT on Phoenix for a 2. Luchasaurus then came in with a shoulder tackle. He took out both men. Coming back from commercial, Rey and Cassidy were just completely dismantled by Luchasaurus. Chokeslam through the announce table. Cassidy was then tossed onto the stage, and all of a sudden, Jungle Boy came out with a chair. He ran off Christian Cage, and then he did a running crossbody off the stage to Luchasaurus through a plethora of tables, which looked great. So Luchasaurus was effectively taken out. Pac then came out to the ring and coerced Rey Fenix into using the ring hammer. But Phoenix said no. He wants to do it with honor. Phoenix threw it down, super kick to Cassidy. Cassidy then kicked up, hit an orange punch, and Cassidy retained. Afterwards, Pac then attacked Cassidy after the match, but Pac was interrupted by Rocky Romero and Shibata with the Best Friends. And we got ourselves a title match for Rampage. Undoubtedly, the worst match in AEW's Dynamite history. Marina Shafir and Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. Terrible. This was terrible. Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero came out, and they were doing commentary over the match. That just goes to show you how fucking horrible the match was going to be. Jade tried to focus on the match. She won in about 2.5 minutes. Thank Christ this was only 2.5 minutes. This was horrible. Maybe Jade should learn to keep her mouth shut on social media. Absolutely fucking terrible. We need to get Jamie Hayter and Jade Cargill in a match immediately. And Marina Shafir, she needs to be fired. I'm sorry. Too harsh? Don't give a shit. We got a great promo package for the House of Black. Holy shit, this was awesome. House of Black is returning. Great. Love it. Cannot wait for them to return. And House of Black versus Death Triangle, give me House of Black as the Trios champions. That's what I'm looking at. Main event. Main event was fine. Really nothing over the top. But Joe and Brian Cage actually matched up pretty well together. So both men were trading heavy strikes before Joe came in with a stiff shoulder tackle. We had both men trading some heavy fucking chops. Elbow drop by Joe for a 2. Cage with a very nice drop kick. Cage then with a stiff enziguri and a release German suplex out of the corner, which looked great. Coming back from commercial, Cage with a beautiful Tope Con Hero over the top rope for a 2. Cage then with a super kick, huge twisting elbow drop for a 2. Awesome stuff. Joe then kicked out. Brian Cage. Now, Samoa Joe is almost 300 pounds. Cage got Samoa Joe up in a pump handle gourd buster. I legitimately thought that Samoa Joe was going to land on his neck. This looked beautiful by Brian Cage. Joe barely kicked out. We had an Olympic slam and a discus lariat. Great flurry by Cage for a 2. Joe with the coquina clutch. Cage then tapped out. More of them too, please. More Brian Cage and more Samoa Joe. The Gates of Agony then attacked. Wardlow then came out. They retreated. And then Powerhouse Hobbs came out and dropped Wardlow with a spine buster. Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs, out of all the matches that we have booked for Full Gear, this is the match that I'm looking forward to the most. These two are going to absolutely fucking kill it. This is going to be awesome. Dynamite was not all that good. Not a very exciting show. It wasn't terrible, but it was not all that exciting. It did not have that boost of adrenaline that we usually sense from Dynamite. I apologize. I'm getting more stuffed up than I did a couple weeks ago when I was doing a stream. What a cold. Unbelievable. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying my rants when I have a fucking stuffy nose. But I'm glad that I've been entertaining you guys. We got about 2 more shows to go over, and then we're going to get out of here pretty quick. Pretty quick LFU today, that's for sure. Well, we do have Crown Jewel. We have it in about less than an hour, so let's not waste any more time. Let us get right into the SmackDown review. SmackDown and Rampage were actually 2 very good shows. SmackDown and Rampage were actually better than both Raw and Dynamite combined. So, good for them. SmackDown. We started off with Liv Morgan versus Sonya Deville. This was a no disqualification match. The brawl started immediately. We get a brawl on the floor. Sonya then whipped Morgan with the kendo stick and then had Morgan in a crossface with the kendo stick. Morgan then whipped Deville with the kendo stick. She took over, and the kendo stick actually broke over Sonya Deville. So Morgan brought that intensity. Morgan then delivered two tope suicidas, one on the announce table side and then one on the ramp side of the ring. Morgan then brought out a table and she set it up, but Deville took over with a punt kick. Both women were on the apron, and Liv Morgan said, hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go through the table with her. Morgan delivered a backpack stunner to Deville through the table, and then she started laughing about it. Deville then was in control coming back from commercial. She hit a running knee and then a diving knee off the middle rope for a 2. Deville then brought out a plethora of steel chairs. Morgan tried to mount the comeback, running into the corner, springboard code breaker, beautifully done. That got a 2. They were up top. Deville with a power bomb to Liv Morgan on the bed of chairs. Deville covered Liv, but Liv kicked out. Liv was then bounced face first off of the chairs. We had a code breaker by Morgan and then Oblivion on the steel chairs. Morgan wins the no DQ match, and we got a nice little undercard match in the women's division. Exactly what we need. We don't need women's tag team titles. We don't need a women's intercontinental title. We need undercard storylines, and that's exactly what we're getting. So good on Triple H for doing that. This was probably the best Liv Morgan match that I think I've seen. This was great. Great stuff. This was leagues better than the Ronda Rousey match. And this just goes to show you how good Sonya Deville is. Sonya Deville is very good, and she deserves to be on TV a hell of a lot more. Very good stuff from these two. Emma and Xia Li had a little back and forth. So it looks like Emma's going to be fighting Xia Li. Again, undercard storylines. Good. Good. We got Ricochet versus L.A. Knight. Even though he stole my intro, I am an L.A. Knight type of guy. So L.A. Knight was actually talking to Ricochet's girl, Samantha Irvin, which was great, by the way. That is a very nice touch. L.A. Knight is a dick, and I love it. So L.A. Knight and Ricochet, this was a very good match. Very good match. They matched up very well together, and I would not mind seeing a rematch. Matter of fact, I encourage a rematch. These two did a great job. So Ricochet went right on the attack. Ricochet was in control early on. LA Knight missed the moonsault. Ricochet was in the driver's seat coming back from commercial. Ricochet mounted a comeback with a discus punch. LA Knight then hit him with a rising knee and a slingshot shoulder tackle over the top rope. Ricochet then came in with a crossbody, some mounted punches. Knight then sent Ricochet off the buckle and then hit a leaping neck breaker for a 2. Ricochet with a big Hurricane Rana off the middle rope, big diving crossbody, and a standing shooting star press for a 2. Knight then rolled up Ricochet and grabbed the ropes to get the win. LA Knight is continuing to win, and if you're asking me, when Sheamus, which I do believe Sheamus will take the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther at WrestleMania, when that happens, I'm looking down the barrel of Sheamus versus LA Knight, potentially at SummerSlam or Clash at the Castle if they go back next year. That's what I'm looking at. Give me Sheamus versus LA Knight, and give me LA Knight winning the Intercontinental Championship. That is what I'm looking forward to. Shout out to Earl, who's in the chat. Bray Wyatt. Man, do I love me some Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is doing a great job with what he's doing here. Bray Wyatt was in the back, and he was talking about not wanting to share his feelings, and it's hard when people keep interrupting him. Wyatt then went to talk to a production crew member because the production crew member interrupted him. He said, you know when you're in traffic and someone cuts you off and you just want to think about what you would do to him if you had him in a room for 30 seconds? So Wyatt was pissed, And he said, I want you to dig down to the deepest, darkest parts of your soul and apologize for interrupting me. And the production crew member said, I'm sorry. Bray Wyatt said, I know you are, but I'm just going to need you to go away. Go away. Bray Wyatt, I don't know where this is going, but I'm liking it. I like it. Really good stuff. Can't really complain. Usos. Let me ask all of you right now. Let me ask all of you. People, are you feeling Usi? I want you to know, if you're feeling Usi, I want you to tell me how Usi you're feeling in the chat. Because I'm feeling Usi. Even though I got a cold, I'm feeling very Usi. Feeling very Usi on this Saturday. How Usi are you feeling? So the Usos came out to address the Brawling Brutes. Crowd was chanting Usi. They said that they are on the verge of becoming the longest reigning tag team champions ever, because you the twos and we the ones. We got Earl. Look at Earl. Earl is feeling Usi. Earl is feeling Usi, and I'm loving it. Lisa, I'm actually very disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in you. If you're not feeling Usi, then I don't know what you're doing in this chat. You got to be of the utmost Usi here. We're only accepting posse members of the utmost Usi, okay? You got to get with the program, honey. Anyway. So the New Day comes out. New Day comes out, and they were serious. Kofi said, to be quite honest with you, I'm rooting for the Brawling Brutes. But if you retain, when you're on that plane, and this is where Woods gets really serious. Woods goes, when you're on that plane and you touch down on American soil, you will have the longest reigning tag team champions coming out to protect our record because New Day rocks. I actually like it. Nice little storyline right there, and it's going to put the stamp on the Usos' reign of dominance. I like it. So the Brawling Brutes came out. They attacked the Usos. Sammy and Solo then came out to help, and the Bloodline take out the New Day and the Brutes. Butch tried to gain control with the Shillelagh, but Solo came in with the spinning Solo. I didn't mind this segment. I think this was a very nice segment to help build towards that match at Crown Jewel today. I have no problem with that. Natalya took on Shayna Baszler, but Shayna Baszler, she was accompanied by Ronda Rousey. This is a great thing. You know why? Because now Ronda's going to rub off a little bit of her credibility on Shayna, and Shayna, she's back to being a stone cold fucking killer. This was awesome. Now, the match was a 3-4 minute match, but Shayna Baszler back to being Shayna Baszler, it is a great thing to see. Shayna Baszler, hands down, is the next SmackDown Women's Champion. She better be taking that title off of Ronda Rousey. So Shayna stomped on the arm of Natalya. Classic Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler then locked in the Karafuda clutch. Didn't let go. And Natalya passed out. Afterwards, Shayna exposed her knee and gave Natalya a punt knee right to the jaw, in which Natalya was actually bleeding. She was busted open. That was great. Shayna Baszler being a killer, love it. Absolutely love it. We got a great promo package for Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. I fully expect that match to be a banger. If you guys want to know who I think will win, go check out the rundown for Crown Jewel with Mitch Kofsky. MVP came out and said that he was pleased to hear that Braun Strowman would be in action tonight. He used his connections to sort out some opposition for Braun Strowman. So he brought out 5 local jobbers. Strowman came running out, bulldozed all of them. He just bulldozed them as if it was a fucking wrecking ball to a building. They all scattered. MVP then tried to run away from Strowman. Braun then caught MVP's shot with the cane, snapped his cane, ragdolled MVP, and gave him 3 power slams in the ring. I hope to fucking Christ that Braun Strowman buries Omos in the deserts of Saudi Arabia. That's what I'm hoping. I hope Strowman buries Omos and we never see Omos again. Get me some interesting material. Give me Strowman and Cross. Give me Strowman and Gunther. That's what I want to see. Not Strowman and Omos. Next week looks like a big fucking week. We got the SmackDown World Cup, which I do believe that's either going to go to LA Knight or Santos Escobar. No matter who's in the tournament, that's going to one of those two. It's got to. That's got to go to one of those two. We also got the New Day versus who I do believe will be the Usos after they beat the Brawling Brutes today. And then Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Nakamura and Santos Escobar, give me all of that shit. Take my fucking money. I love me some Santos Escobar. I'm a Legado del Fantasma guy. I love it. That's going to be a fucking banger. Awesome shit. Main event. I'll tell you what was also a banger, this main event. Rey Mysterio and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. This was fucking great. The Intercontinental Championship is doing great on Gunther. This is exactly what we needed. Just like he's doing with the NXT United Kingdom Championship, Gunther is absolutely fucking killing it. Killing it with the Intercontinental Championship. And if you're asking me, after Cody wins the world title, I would not be opposed to having Gunther take that title off of Cody when the time is right. That's what I'm looking at. And I don't even mind the name anymore. I think that he's really taken to the name really, really nicely. He says it. The way that he says it makes it sound cool. Gunther. Gunther makes it work. He makes it work. Good shit. Great match was this. So Gunther, no wasted motion by Gunther. Powerbomb on the apron to Rey. Gunther was just toying with Rey. Rey was trying to gain control. He delivered a crucifix bomb. Rey tried to quicken the pace with a sleeper hold on Gunther. Gunther then climbed up to the second rope, hit a backpack stunner off the second rope to break it up. Coming back from a second commercial, the pace really started to quicken up. Rey tried to mount the comeback with some quick strikes. Rey with a seated senton and a wheelbarrow bulldog on Gunther. Seated senton again and a lion salt for a 2. Rey then went for the 619. He got it. He got the 619, but Gunther, he was just a little too quick to get up, was Gunther, and Rey was a little too slow to get up to the top. Gunther, he slung Rey off the top. Gunther went up top. Rey met him there. Gunther, this was a great spot. Gunther went for a power bomb. Rey countered into a Hurricane Rana. He pinned Gunther. Gunther kicked out. Great near fall right there. Rey then went up top again. Gunther caught him. Rey hit a beautiful sunset flip power bomb. Gunther stayed alive. Rey then went up to the top again. Frog splash. He missed. Shotgun drop kick by Gunther. Powerbomb connects, but Rey kicked out. Great near fall. Rey then reversed the powerbomb. Gunther, he was on the ropes. 619, but Gunther came back with a huge boot. Rey was out. Rey Mysterio then got hit with a massive fucking lariat. So Gunther and Jamie Hayter with some big fucking lariats in the wrestling industry right now. Gunther, beautiful fucking lariat. 1, 2, 3. Gunther retains the Intercontinental title as he should. It was a great fucking match. And Gunther, man, Gunther, he is building a reputation for himself as the best Intercontinental champion since since Seth Rollins in 2018. What a fucking match. Very good show. Easily, probably the best show of the entire fucking week was SmackDown. Rampage was also very good. And we're going to talk about Rampage in just a little bit. Just a few advertisements for you. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, it is the rewind for WWE Crown Jewel with my man, Mac the Giants fan. So shout out to him. He's going to be joining me for the show. It's going to be a great fucking show. And then, of course, on November 17th, we got the rundown for Full Gear with All Elite Mikey. Shout out to him. He's going to be joining me on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, November 17th. This Thursday, November 10th, it is going to be me joining Earl Cole to dissect Dynamite and Crown Jewel. It's going to be a fun time, and we're going to light it up on a Thursday like we normally do. And then, of course, we got on November 20th, it's going to be the rewind for Full Gear with Wrestling Express member Antonio Carium. So shout out to him. He's going to be joining me for the first time ever on my channel to dissect everything Full Gear related. And then on November 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Raging Girl Gamer. My girl, Raging Girl Gamer, is going to come on the channel, and we're going to preview and predict Survivor Series. So do not miss this entire month worth of excellent, scintillating, controversial, and charismatic DJ Storm streams. Let's go over Rampage, and then we're going to get out of here and get ready for Clash at the Castle. Orange Cassidy. He took on Katsuyori Shibata. This was for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, and man, they delivered one physical fucking match. This shit was hard-hitting, and I mean hard-hitting. I do not want to be on the receiving end of any of Shibata's strikes, and Orange Cassidy brought himself up to Shibata's level to match that intensity. That's what I love. Mike Tyson was also on commentary. He didn't do too bad. I actually like what Mike Tyson can do. I hate the four-man commentary booth, but Mike Tyson sounded pretty good. He was talking about the mat wrestling of Shibata, talking about the quickness of Orange Cassidy. He's an Orange Cassidy mark. So Mike Tyson, he's a good guy. Orange Cassidy mark. Good guy. So Cassidy and Shibata with some very nice mat work. Cassidy came in with a big tope suicida. Cassidy was then sent into the barricade multiple times. Coming back from commercial, Cassidy with a hesitation drop kick. The light kicks to Shibata. Then an STO. Shibata mocked Cassidy's kicks. Cassidy then mocked Shibata's pose. We had some light chops. And then Shibata slapped the ever-living shit. Out of Orange Cassidy, which looked brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. We had a hesitation drop kick by Shibata, back suplex after back suplex, double punch, both men were down, PK by Cassidy. Shibata sat up, PK again, Shibata didn't go down. Orange punch by Shibata, and then he locked in an iron octopus stretch. Cassidy got to the ropes. We then had a Stun Dog Millionaire, Death Valley Driver by Shibata, another Stun Dog Millionaire, Tilt-A-Whirl Head Scissors with Shibata landing on his neck, Beach Break, Shibata kicked out, Orange Punch, Shibata didn't go down, Chokehold by Shibata, Cassidy wouldn't go down, second Orange Punch, 1, 2, 3, Cassidy wins and retains the All-Atlantic Championship in a very physical fucking match. Not the cleanest of matches, but very solid performance by both men. This was awesome. Awesome stuff right here to kick off Rampage. I'll tell you what's also awesome, Jamie Hayter. It's always great to see Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, Shit Baker, they took on Madison Rayne and Sky Blue It was a decent little sprint of a match, and Sky Blue actually looked very good in this match. So shout out to Sky Blue for working her ass off to get better. So Sky Blue was isolated early on. Sky Blue was isolated early on. Really good stuff right here from Sky Blue. She then delivered a super kick to Britt and a sliding, spinning enziguri, tag to Rain. Rain hit a neck breaker for a 2 on Britt, a cutter, backbreaker by Hayter, backstabber by Sky Blue, swinging neck breaker by Britt, tag to Hayter, enziguri by Rain, Britt Baker she was out. So Britt Baker was out after the enziguri by Rain. Jamie Hayter, my God, Jamie Hayter, I am loving that fucking lariat. A wicked ripcord lariat by Jamie Hayter, and Jamie Hayter gets the win for her team. Very, very good stuff from Hayter. Afterwards, Britt was shit-talking on the mic before Toni Storm came out. She took Rebel, and she took out Britt, and we get a brawl, which resulted in Toni getting a Texas Cloverleaf in on Jamie Hayter, which looked very, very nice. And then Britt hit Storm with the belt, gave it to Hayter, and Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. I expect a banger from those two. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see it. We had ourselves a little bit of absolute Ricky Starks. Love me some Ricky Starks on my TV. Ricky Starks came out for a little promo segment. Always great to see Ricky Starks. He talked about how how people want to see Ricky Starks on TV. I never had to plead because I know that I always delivered, and you always like me because I do the pose. Ricky Starks has heard all your questions, and now Ricky Starks got the answer. I'm entering myself into the Eliminator Tournament for the AEW Championship. I'm the guy that's going to hold this place up on my bare back. I'm walking out of Full Gear as the new #1 contender. Whether I face Moxley or MJF, I don't deal in ifs, ands, or maybes. I deal in truths because I am absolute Ricky freaking Starks. Excellent. And by the way, this Eliminator Tournament, holy fuck. We got Kingston and Ethan Page. We got Lance Archer and Ricky Starks. We got Dante Martin and Brian Cage. And we got Bandito and Roosh. Holy fuck. That sounds like a great fucking tournament to me. And if you're asking me, I'm looking down the barrel of potentially a Roosh or an Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks. I'm calling Ricky Starks to win the whole fucking thing. I'm calling Ricky Starks winning the whole fucking thing. That's what I'm looking at. And I love it. Ricky Starks wins the whole thing. I'll tell you what else is going to be great. We got ourselves Sammy Guevara and Bryan Danielson in a 2 out of 3 falls match this week on Dynamite. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then in our main event, we got ourselves the Embassy versus Wardlow. A standard showcase for Wardlow. Really nothing special right here. Wardlow with some Uranagis on Bishop Khan. German suplexes by Wardlow. We had a snap German suplex to Toa Leona. Spinebuster. Joe with the Coquina clutch. Leona was taken out. And Wardlow with 4 power bombs on Bishop Khan for the win. Hobbs then came out, and we got a nice little stare down. He signaled for a title on Wardlow. Some people were pointing out that Wardlow was getting a side glance from Samoa Joe. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but Samoa Joe and Wardlow could be headed towards a breakup. That's going to be interesting because that's a very interesting match in its own right. We'll have to wait and see. Rampage, leagues better than Dynamite this week. Friday Night Wrestling delivered. All the other wrestling, not so much. Ladies and gents, a quick one today. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. You guys came out and gave me a nice, decent little crowd for a Saturday morning before Crown Jewel. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoy Crown Jewel as well. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. And be sure that you're aware of all the streams coming within the next coming weeks, including rundowns, rewinds, and LFUs. But until then, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the LFU. But before we get out of here, people, there's a question that everybody gotta answer. Who runs the IWC? Who runs it? I don't know. I need to know. Who runs it? I'm trying to figure out who runs it. Who runs the IWC? I'll tell ya who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you forget it. I'll catch you guys tweeting live for Crown Jewel